There are new accusations that the FBI actually lured the accused murderer to Peru, where undercover agents were tracking him the night Stephany Flores was killed. John Quinones is here. Has more on this, John.
Robin, in Peru yesterday, a preliminary hearing for Joran. A judge visited him in prison, but Joran refused to give him any statement on the case, saying that he first wants the confession he made to police thrown out of court. Well, today, Joran has a lot more to say to a newspaper in his homeland. In an exclusive interview today, Joran Van der Sloot tells the Dutch newspaper Telegraaf, "I am surviving. It's my own fault I'm here." He says he understands why his own mother is not planning to visit him. "I have caused her and many other people too much pain," he says. "If only I had listened to her." Today, ABC News obtained these video clips from a Dutch interview with Joran's mother, Anita, in which she admits that her son could have killed Stephany Flores.
I'm not going to visit Joran in Peru. I don't have any feeling that it can add up to anything. I want to keep distance.
The Telegraaf, without any confirmation, goes on to make a far-fetched claim that Joran was lured to Peru by a man working for the FBI, a gambler named Elton Garcia. The agency, the paper says, was trying to get Joran away from Aruba to a country where he could be extradited to face extortion charges on the Natalie Holloway case. Garcia, according to the paper, invited Joran to take part in a poker tournament at this casino where he met Stephany Flores. Joran is quoted as saying, "This Garcia man arranged and paid for everything for me. Looking back, I can't believe I let myself be lured. I hardly knew that guy. It was just a setup." The Telegraaf even makes the bizarre claim that it was the FBI who set up these surveillance cameras, capturing Joran and Stephany as they entered his hotel room. Last night, a spokesman for the FBI told ABC News this extortion case is a pending legal matter, and as such, we simply cannot make any comment on this report. Finally, that newspaper, the Telegraaf, also quotes Joran as bragging that he's received several marriage proposals from Peruvian women. One of them, he reportedly says with a smile, even wants to become pregnant by me.
I have no idea what he's going to say next. All right, John, thank you. For more, we turn to former FBI investigator and ABC News consultant Brad Garrett. And Brad, we just heard in John's report about the FBI and supposedly by this article saying that they hired somebody to go to Peru. What do you make of all this, Brad?
Well, I think the question is, could they have done it? Of course, they could have done it. The question is, really, would they have done it? And the logical answer, I think, is probably no, for the following reasons. One, it is an extortion case, and for federal agents to operate in a foreign country, they have to have a lot of approvals. First, by the U.S. Department of Justice, then the Peruvian authorities would have to approve it. It's very difficult to operate inside a country. As an American, you typically have to use the local or state police to work for you. And so I'm not really convinced it is even the type of case the FBI would put the energy into.
But the article also does point out a number of indications that this could have happened. They say that the security cameras at Joran's hotel were more elaborate than you would expect at a hotel like that, and when people went back, the cameras they're not there, they were removed. So what do you make of that claim?
Well, two things. One is that they could have been removed if in fact the police had anything to do with it because they believe they could be evidence. More importantly, Robin, I think you have to look at if the FBI was involved and this was a sting operation to gather more extortion information, the hotel room would have been bugged because that's where you would capture the conversations you would need to further the extortion plot.
But we don't know for sure do you know for sure that it wasn't bugged?
No, I don't. But the whole idea that they have released all of these surveillance camera videos from the hallway, it would make sense they would also do that. So I'm just not convinced, based on what we know, that the FBI would have done this.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit odd. But devil's advocate here, if it is indeed true, what would be the ramifications?
Well, I don't know that there would be any. I mean, one of the problems is that anytime you do an operation, there are risks that people can get hurt. In an extortion case, they're usually not likely. But as long as the safeguards were covered, in other words, you know, he picks this woman up at a gambling casino,
right.
comes back to his hotel room. Is there anything wrong with that? The answer is no. Is there any indication that violence is going to occur? I think the answer is no. So if, in fact, it is true, I'm not sure the FBI has any issues here.
All right. Thank you, as always, Brad Garrett, for your insight there in D.C. Thanks so much, Brad.